the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Happening now at 9 o'clock, covering the entire DMV. DC News Now in the District, Maryland, and Virginia.
I'm a father, and this is my second child I got to bury.
Where's the protection? Where's the justice? Where's the peace?
Seeking answers, 2 young women shot dead in the district. A father pleads city leaders crack down on rising crime mere hours after his daughter's life ended. And parents speak out after the 16-year-old daughter they loved so very much was killed during an apparent argument over sweet and sour sauce.
She's gonna leave a hole in my heart and in the hearts of so many people.
I just wish she was still here.
Recently released video has parents up in arms over treatment of a special needs student in Virginia. A look at how those parents are outraged and responding to the school board. And it's the holiday weekend. Labor Day is underway. The local events for family fun, ways to save at the pump, and when it's best to head home before potential record-breaking heat. Thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 9. I'm Ben Dennis. Right to it, meteorologist Scott Sumner standing by. A beautiful day, a live shot of the Kennedy Center here in DC right now, but things could swiftly change. It could be potentially stifling to start this week, Scott.
Yes, indeed, Ben, you are absolutely right. You can see the dew point and the humidity, not bad, in check right now. Clear skies, 78 degrees. We have a sunset, had a sunset actually a couple hours ago, about 7:37 here, and we have a southerly wind. However, like Ben just said, we are going to start to see a warm-up starting tomorrow, and here's the heat indices. So when you factor in the higher humidity and the higher temperatures, we could be seeing a heat wave here of triple-digit heat starting on Labor Day and continuing through the middle of the week before we start to see those numbers fluctuate and go down. As far as tonight is concerned, comfortable out there. Partly cloudy skies at 1 a.m. at 69 degrees, 4 a.m. 68 degrees under partly cloudy or mostly clear skies. Across the area. And as far as the headlines are concerned, another pleasant night. Heating up on Sunday. Record Monday heat. Well, we'll talk about that coming up.
Looking forward to it. Thank you, Scott. Developing right now, those brazen killings overnight in Northwest Washington, D.C. 2 young women gunned down in a parking lot near this building. You can see this window just shattered. A teen girl also shot. Our Dave Laval joins us live from where that shooting took place. Dave, the father of one of the young women killed said that this is the second child that he has had to bury.
Well, things are pretty quiet here right now at the corner of 7th Street Northwest and O Street. Behind me is where gunshots rang out at this apartment complex late Friday night, and when it ended, 2 young ladies lost their lives.
It's crazy out here. I just want justice for my daughter.
Michael Ferguson mourns the loss of his daughter. Police found 19-year-old Makaya Ferguson and 18-year-old Keisha Perry shot near this playground at an apartment building along 7th Street Northwest just before midnight Friday. Both later died at the hospital.
My daughter was an innocent bystander. She had nothing to do with anything.
Police reported another girl, described as a minor, had also been shot at the building. She's in critical but stable condition. 5 apartments and 7 cars were also hit by gunshots. For Ferguson, though, the loss is extra painful.
This is my second child I got to bury.
Ferguson said his daughter would have turned 19 in 2 weeks. Police said the shooters used a fully automatic handgun and a fully automatic rifle to commit the crimes. Anyone with information is asked to call DC Police. We're live in Northwest. Dave Laval, DC News Now.
Tough circumstances indeed. Thank you, Dave. This triple shooting happened just minutes before DC's new and enforced youth curfew went into effect in other parts of the district. DC News Now's Tosin Fakile spoke to an ANC commissioner whose area in the curfew about their thoughts on the new change.
The curfew was going into effect at midnight, and just before midnight was when that shooting happened. And one ANC leader who says her neighborhood is one of the areas that has the curfew, she says the curfew isn't very realistic. I asked ANC leader Reverend Hamilton about the shooting that happened on the heels of the first day of the new DC juvenile curfew.
I think it supports what I'm talking about here is that it's not about a time on the clock. I think it's an attempt to show that we're doing something different than we have been doing. And so I am in agreement with that, but I am not convinced that it's going to achieve the results that they are promoting and looking for.
The shooting happened near the Gibson Plaza apartments in the Shaw neighborhood. 2 women died and a teenage girl in critical condition. This type of violence involving kids is why district leaders put in the curfew. Reverend Hamilton tells me she recognizes things they have to do differently, but crime happens at different times.
I mean, if you look across the city, you'll see things happening in broad daylight, noon, 8 p.m. And so I say that to say that if somebody has it in their mind, set, or heart, if you will, to commit a crime, they're not looking to see, oh, let me get this done before 10 o'clock.
I asked Reverend Hamilton what can be done to tackle the issue instead of a curfew, and she says one way is finding out what is motivating young people to violence and what is causing them to lash out violently. The juvenile curfew for today will go into effect at midnight and ends at 6 a.m. In the studio, I'm Tosin Fakile for DC News Now. Back to you.
All right, thanks to Tosin. Earlier today, a vigil was held in Maryland to remember the lives lost in Maui. The Seventh-day Adventist Church in Rockville honored the lives lost in the country's deadliest wildfire in recent memory and to provide aid to community members who have friends and loved ones in Hawaii. They also have a connection to Maui as their sister church there was spared by those fires. We spoke to several attendees about what had motivated them to hold this event. This is what they had to say.
We're just praying hard for the people because we know that there is power in prayer. And we're just hoping for the best because this is such a horrific situation.
We're looking at our homes, our communities. We're not going to take that lightly. We want to respond as Christians should.
And a fundraiser was also held for people on Maui, as well as those in Florida affected by Hurricane Idalia. And in Fairfax County, Virginia, speed cameras are in place for the first time in school zones for the return of back to school. The cameras are part of a pilot program to deter speeding near schools. But there have been a few snags. Our Haley Milon covers Northern Virginia and explains.
Yeah, police say these school zone cameras are really effective deterrents against reckless driving, unsafe driving in school zones like this one here in Chantilly. But if you received a citation in the mail, you want to check the location and the date on it because there's a chance it might be invalid.
We found out that lights were not actually turning on at those specific times.
Because of a snafu with flashing lights like the ones on this sign, more than 2,800 traffic citations issued in July are now void. This includes citations from cameras near London Town Elementary School in Centerville and Irving Middle School in Springfield, issued since July 17th. Fairfax police say if you received one of these, it'll be voided, and if you already paid, they'll return your fine. The school division is in charge of programming the lights, and police say they're working together to resolve the issue. But generally, police say the 10 cameras at 8 schools are slowing drivers down.
So I think the intended goal is working.
The cameras led to more than 5,600 citations total in July.
Because you got to convince people that yes, it is safe and we can make it safe.
Sally Smallwood directed Fairfax County's Safe Routes to School program for years. She says most students take the bus, but she says that these cameras at last give families hope that their children can safely walk or bike to school.
Getting them, ready for the day because they've exercised, but also just the things that they learn about their neighborhood.
As police look for new places for school zone cameras, Smallwood says each camera is making kids' worlds a bit safer. In Fairfax County, I'm Haley Milon, DC News Now.
Thanks to Haley. The man behind...
And honey, I didn't know that I'd be missing you so come Monday.
Plenty of favorites. The man behind Margaritaville, Jimmy Buffett, has died at the age of 76. Buffett was famous for his laid-back attitude and tunes and beach vibes, of course, but it was more than that. He ran multiple business ventures, even a successful author. Right now, the cause of his death has not yet been revealed, but according to Buffett, his legacy is helping people forget their troubles for a couple of hours.